Hey, what's going on? Another episode of Hound Conversations. On this episode, we're going to be talking about what's a good coon hound to you. So stay tuned and we'll get into that here in just a second. Alright, so hey, welcome to another episode of Hound Conversations. I'm Matt Newport, for all of you that don't know me. On this episode, I wanted to talk about, to you, what is a good coon hound? I mean, everybody's got their own opinion. And really, I've seen a lot of things on social media and on other platforms and stuff of people talking about this and what they think's a good hound and all this kind of stuff. And basically, I'll go into what I prefer, and then we can kind of go from there. But for me, I'm the kind of guy that I like to have a hound that's very competitive. I like to competition hunt, so I like to have a hound that I can take out and go be competitive on the weekend or on a weeknight at a PKC hunt or whatever. But at the same time, I also thoroughly enjoy hunting, just going out pleasure hunting, going out with the guys, hunting by myself, and that kind of stuff. So if I don't have a dog that I enjoy hunting through the week, then I don't want that dog because he's a good competition dog. So really, to me, I want a dog that's got a lot of sense to him, has a good handle on him. Some of you guys that have watched some of my videos, you've seen that I train all my dogs to come back whenever you tone them. I train my dogs that whenever I get to the tree and I'm ready to go, it's time to go. I don't have to go force my dogs to get off of a tree or anything. I can usually just tell them, come on, let's go. And they leave the tree and come back to me. That goes beyond imagine whenever it comes to, say you got a dog across the river or whatever, and you don't want to walk 2 miles the other direction to go back and get them. It's nice to be able to just yell at your dog and have them come back over there. Not verbally yell, but be able to, yell out to them and have them come back to you. So to me, that's a big plus. But when it comes to actual coon hound, what I would consider a coon hound, I like a dog that is, for one, very natural. I don't like a dog that has to be man-made. I like one that starts easily. You don't have to, do all kinds of training and everything else. That's why I don't put out a lot of training videos, because I don't honestly do a lot of training other than just like general handling stuff, like leading and teaching a dog what, to come back to a tone and all that kind of stuff. I don't do a whole lot of training. I'm a firm believer in getting the dog to the woods and letting them do their thing. And they'll either eventually figure it out on their own or they won't. And that's where the natural ability thing comes into. But with that being said, you can have a dog with natural ability and it don't really fit the profile that I like. And this is just my personal preferences, but I like a dog that gets open. I like a dog that keeps a track open. I like a mouthy dog. I like one that opens on the track a lot. I like to actually be able to listen to a dog run a track. There's a lot of guys out there that like a dog that doesn't open on the track a lot, but I don't like that. I like being able to listen to my hound out at night, and that's part of the joy of it to me. One other thing that is a big must for me is, I like them to get treed quick, and I like them to stay. If they're not a stay put kind of dog, if I can't, no matter whether I'm pleasure hunting or at a competition hunt or anything like that, if I can't leave that dog way in there by itself, treeing for an hour until I get there, then me and that dog are probably not going to get along very well. So So that's the thing. One of the things I want in that. Another big thing for me is a dog with a good mouth. I've had plenty of dogs with just mediocre mouths over the years, and it's when it comes to competition hunting, that's just annoying to me. Is having a dog that you can't hear. I've had a lot of dogs that are, you know, pretty wide hunting dogs, and if they get out there real far and you can't hear them, then you know, it's not good to have a dog with a mediocre mouth or no mouth at all. But that's pretty much, in a nutshell, for me, what I look for in a hound. I like to have, you know, I'm not big on looks or what color they are or, you know, how they're marked up or any of that kind of stuff. I want a dog that gets its mouth open, keeps its mouth open, gets treed and stays treed, and has a good handle on them. That's pretty much it. Now, the reason I wanted to make this video and have this conversation on this episode was because, you know, I've seen a lot of, I pay attention to social media and the message boards and other people's videos and podcasts and all that kind of stuff, and really, I think a lot of people, when they're looking for a dog, they're looking for something that somebody else likes. If you're just starting out, or even if you've been hunting for a few years or whatever, maybe you haven't figured that out yet, and that's fine. You know, it took me quite a while to figure out what kind of dog I like and what I expected out of a hound and all that kind of stuff. And everybody has their preferences, like I said. I think there's a lot of dogs that are being pushed really hard, you know, like the dogs that you cut them loose and they get open as soon as you unsnap that lead, and they're running in a straight line as hard as they can and trying to get as far away as they can to get treed by themselves. If you like that kind of dog, by all means hunt that kind of dog. I personally don't like that kind of dog. I think a lot of the competition hounds have kind of went that route. I don't like that, simply for the fact of I don't like walking that far all the time. I think the downfall to them dogs is going to come probably sooner than later, because especially, you know, up here where I live here in Indiana, it's hard to find ground to hunt where you can turn a dog loose and it can go a mile and you're not either, you know, getting the law called on you or having to go knock on doors or trespassing or even people shooting at you, all kinds of stuff. That stuff happens. I like my dogs that take tracks as they come, and it makes it easier. You know, you don't have to worry about turning loose in a 500-acre section of woods, because I'll be honest, there isn't any of those around here. We don't have a whole bunch of public ground like they do in the south and, you know, out a little bit further west and that kind of stuff. We don't have that. So basically the biggest thing I'm trying to get at here is if you're a young hunter or, you know, don't have a whole lot of years under your belt or anything, find that kind of dog that you personally want. Don't worry about what, you know, the guy that's on the front page of, you know, Pro Hound has or any of that kind of stuff, because that might be that guy's preference of dog, and you might hate to hunt that dog on a Monday night. I know a lot of the dogs, I go to a lot of competition hunts, and a lot of the dogs that I've seen, you know, in casts and stuff, not that they're not good dogs, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of very nice hounds out there that are not my kind of hound. I wouldn't own them because I don't like that kind of hunting. You know, I like being able to go out and have a good time. You know, like I've shown in my videos and stuff, my dogs usually don't go super far. You know, the last video that I put out, Hunt and Chill, I didn't go, I maybe went 800 yards total that whole night and treed 3 times. To me, that's more enjoyable than having to walk, you know, 5 miles in a night. So that's just my personal preference. That doesn't mean that anybody else is wrong for having a dog like that, but I don't know. So if you're looking for what you consider to be a good hound, maybe you like a real cold-nosed dog, maybe you like a hot-nosed dog, maybe you like a dog that, you know, is put together real well and has great conformation and just looks like a really nice hound that you can take out and go hunting. You know, there's endless possibilities when it comes to that kind of stuff. So basically find what you're looking for. Whenever, if you don't competition hunt, then find some people that live around you to go hunting with. Maybe you can go hunt with those guys, and maybe they got a different kind of dog than what you're used to hunting with, and maybe you like that more. But if you do competition hunt, go to those hunts. Hunt with other dogs, you know. Figure out what kind of dog makes you tick. Don't worry about what everybody else is doing. And that goes for breeds as well. Don't be colorblind. I hunt walkers, but hey, I got a red bone tied up right out here behind the house. So just find what you want in a hound. You know, do your research. Do your research on, you know, whenever say you're looking for puppies or whatever, do your research on that line of dogs. There's the resources out there are huge now compared to what they used to be 10 years ago. You know, say you were looking at a pup out of, we'll just take my dogs for instance. If you're looking for a pup out of my dogs and you want to know what they hunt like or anything like that, you can get on social media and go find the person that owns that dog, shoot them a message. If they're, you know, good and honest with you, they'll tell you, you know, what kind of dog they are, what they do, all that kind of stuff. Talk to other people that have hunted with those dogs. You know, if you're looking for a certain kind of trait, look for a certain kind of dog that they're coming out of. There's just so much more out there now than what there used to be. You know, used to be you could get in the coonhound bloodlines and look at an ad on there, and most of them had a lot of the same information on them. And just reading it, heck, who knows? You don't know that much about that dog, but if you get references from other people, then you can find out more about that dog. It's pretty easy to, you know, find that kind of stuff out. But let's see. Other than that, I don't have too much more to dig into that conversation there. That's something that's kind of came up. I've heard it in a couple of things, and I just wanted to put some information out there for you guys that maybe you're starting out, or like I said, haven't been doing it too long. Don't get too wrapped up on what everybody else is doing. If you hate the dog you're hunting through the week, you're going to hate the dog you're hunting on the weekends. So if you're a pleasure hunter and that's strictly what you do, then you're definitely going to want to find a dog that you want to take out hunting, because if you don't like what the dog's doing, you're not going to want to take it hunting. So just kind of some food for thought there. But hope you guys enjoyed this conversation. I'm hoping to have some more coming up, have some conversations with some people. I know we're going to be going to Autumn Oaks here in a few weeks. Hoping to sit down with some people and have some good talks about maybe some breeding or some lines of dogs or how people got started in different things or anything like that. So if you got anything that you'd like to see, leave us a comment down here below, and I'll see if I can get that lined up whenever I go over there. If you got any other topics you'd like for me to talk about, I got one more that somebody left in a comment not too long ago that I need to get talked about. So thank you for watching. I hope this was good and informative for you, and until next time, go out there and tree one for us.